and welcome back to your Purple Pants podcast coverage of the Real Housewives of Potomac season 8. I'm super excited to be here with my favorite cousin. You might remember him from the Cookout Big Brother. We've got Derek Frazier here with us. Big D, what's poppin'?
You know what's poppin'? You is what's poppin'. Listen, I'm
Ah.
so happy to be back here with my favorite cousin, Bryce. Thank you for inviting me back. And of course, I love talking about these damn housewives because they are just iconic. I live for them. It just brings me so much satisfaction.
Yes, well, that's super excited. Well, Derek and I just watched the episode together, and we are here to recap season 9 of Real Housewives of Potomac, episode 3 and 4. Derek did a binge watch earlier today. So, what's your overall take on this season? I know your girl Candace is not here. I know your girl Robin is not here.
Thank God. Thank
Not
God.
too
Robin's not
much.
here.
Not too much.
But you know what? It is. I think it was kind of a little bit fair if they were gonna, take a break or whatever, let go of Robin. I feel like Candace having a kid. I think it was just perfect timing. Also, but like I said, it does open doors for other friendships to start. Kind of. Rekindling, like you could see Wendy and Gizelle kind of coming together, and I'm excited to see how that paints out. But right now, I do like the fact that there are some new girls. I always love new girls coming into a season still with our OGs because then it gives us fresh storylines, but it also allows these girls to continue other bitches checking them. Like I kind of love that. Like you need that sometimes.
Yeah, well, I mean, right into episode 3 after the GNA event, after Gizelle said, "Get them girls out of here," we see Gizelle coming to the realization that what she did was wrong and that she realizes her real issue is with Karen. And so she invites I believe it's Jazzy and Stacy.
I can't remember all their names to be honest with you
Right.
guys.
Because
I'm still
Jazzy, in my
I need a
opinion,
second. I need still a couple more episodes. Like I'm barely getting to them. I can't remember the girl who they put on that fall. I'm surprised that Bravo put her on after fighting, even though they didn't show us the fight. But I was like, okay, I guess they're gonna put her on since they never showed us the fight, which was annoying because they got clear evidence and footage of that.
well, we see the fights on the Instagram through the footage of the people that were
Yeah,
there.
but I want the HD. I want the cameraman who was standing there who was
Well,
with it.
they got it all. And so we get this scene with Gizelle apologizing to Stacy and to, I want to say it's Jazzy. They kind of sort of forgive her. And Stacy is opening up to Gizelle about her daughter, her going through a divorce. And Ashley kind of jumps in and it's like, she's not really, too down because she got a new friend. And Stacy really feels some type of way about Ashley saying this. I am kind of on the side with Ashley here. Like Stacey, you're currently filming. You're filming with this new guy who is a devout Christian who's celibate, and you're talking about him. So it's not like you're not filming with him. It's not like we haven't seen 2.5 episodes of you talking about him. It's not like Ashley let the cat out of the bag, and she is right there in front of you. So I didn't like that. I'm like, okay, I feel like you're picking a target on Ashley.
I will say this. I understand both point of views. For her, maybe she wants to bring it to the ladies. Maybe she doesn't want you just airing it out like that. But I also want to say this. When it comes to that damn Ashley, I just can't. I don't got nothing for her because when it came to us wanting to deep dive into her gay husband and everything else, she was all like, "I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about Michael Matters and da da." I'm not giving Ashley no passes because let me tell you something. Ashley could have literally, to me, she could have been a top dog of Potomac if she would have opened up that storyline, and she kept trying to close it, and I just don't have time for it. So I don't have nothing for Ashley, but I do agree, like, hey, if you're doing it on camera, we can talk about it because it's on camera. Like,
Right.
you can't get upset about that. We're making a show here, but also Ashley is also one of those type of people where she's very condescending, and I've realized that a lot about her.
We do get some updates between Wendy and her parent-in-laws, where we've seen in previous seasons they didn't come to the wedding after her and Eddie got engaged. They wanted nothing to do with them. And now we see Wendy and her mom talking about Eddie, happy Eddie, and his family, and the potential of this upcoming, I believe it might be her birthday celebration, where she's going to invite the in-laws. And so I really do love this for Wendy, because hearing that story about how Eddie has had no contact with his family since the birth of their children and their weddings, that kind of sucks. But I also feel like we got Wendy's mom saying the last time that they were together, Wendy's mom went up to her, tried to give her a hug, and Eddie's mom was like, "Back up, we ain't doing all of
Yeah,
that."
she gave her that Nene and Kenya moment
Mm.
when she said, "Oh, okay." Tried to hug Nene, and Nene
Oh
said,
yeah, she said.
"Okay, right." I will say this: it is very sad to see when you have a family, you have kids, you're married, and your in-laws or your parents are not getting along with each other. That's really tough because it puts both of you guys in such a position where you're like, like he might overhear his mom talking on the phone, or vice versa. Like he might see Wendy talking on the phone, and he hears her mom. Like, it's hard. That's always
Right.
hard to deal with.
We also learn a little bit more about Kiarna and her not fiance, but her boyfriend that she's living with, Greg. And we also meet Kiarna's mom. And first of all, Kiarna's mom looks good. But Kiarna's mom's relationship with Greg is interesting. But I don't think I really like Greg. I think Greg is a little like, we've seen the trailer. So it's like I feel like I don't like Greg off of the trailer, but I don't know. I don't know if I love this Greg for Kiarna.
I I don't really got nothing for Kiana yet because only thing I know her for is for rumbling and tumbling on the floor. So I'm gonna wait until I get some more. I do appreciate her being a very good she kind of, this is my honest thought. I
Okay.
feel like they brought her in because they were like, we're losing Candace. So we need to bring in somebody kind of like Candace, who's a little bit of a hothead, a little bit. And I think they brought her in, but I do appreciate her being someone who's like, I'm here for Karen. I got Karen's back. I do appreciate that because that's what Candace was for Karen. So, you know.
Interesting that you say that, because I really think Candace's replacement this season is Stacy. I don't think that they are similar, but I think I see a little spunk in Stacy. She has that QVC voice. You can buy these glasses today for
You
only
talking
three
about Stiff?
payments.
You talking about Miss
Yeah.
Stiffy? You said Miss Stiffy's gonna here to replace Candace?
I didn't say replace Candace, but I see a lot of Candace in Stacy. Although the girls are calling Stacy boring and stiff, right? I do feel like the way that she immediately checked Ashley, her thoughts, I feel like Stacy isn't going to have a problem speaking up. I do feel like there is a facade with Stacy, right? Like, I really like Stacy, but it's like, I'm gonna need for you to drop your news anchor voice, your news anchor persona, and I want to see the real Stacy.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely 100% understand that portion of what you're saying, and I think we'll get a little bit more into that tonight. As we're talking about episode 4, but I feel like Stacy is gonna hit like a, you know what, bitch, let me get you the fuck together because y'all think I'm joking. So I think she's gonna be like, I'm done with QVC now. I am now like, bitch, let me show you. It's Baltimore up in this bitch. I think that's what's
Well,
going to get.
I'd like to meet Miss Baltimore. The last thing that I will say is this new boyfriend of hers, TJ.
Oh,
I don't know. I can't put my finger on it just yet, but
could you
I
put your
will.
finger in it?
My name is not Michael Darby. But what I will say is, it seemed like when they met up at that gym, the way, I don't know, TJ's body language with Stacy was a little dry, but his body language with the trainer just seemed very.
He was
I mean, I don't.
a little bit more parch, a little bit more perkage.
He was. It seemed he was happy and excited. So we we'll see. And so then the last thing, I guess, in episode 3, we really kind of dive a little bit more into Mia, Ink, and Gordon's relationship, and how Mia says they have to sometimes rent an Airbnb to get away from Gordon because Gordon's in the building. He lives in the same building as
That's
Mia.
weird.
Sometimes he'll
That's
come
weird.
down.
That's weird.
He'll I mean, Mia is dropping tea. She drops tea on episode 3 that her and Gordon were never really intimate. Like, I guess he had, some performance issues and like just all of this stuff that we're learning about her and Gordon,
Well,
and that's
well,
essentially
listen. Um, you ever saw like a you know how like they have the sinkholes in the ocean?
okay.
You see, like you know how big they are.
Oh, I mean,
Have you ever
I
seen it?
I haven't seen a sinkhole in the ocean. I've seen like videos of like sinkholes in the middle of the street where the earth just kind of opens up.
Yeah, that's Mia.
Oh,
That's the problem. Mia is. Let me tell you something. Mia, unfortunately, is a bona fide hoe, and we
oh,
know that. And the thing about it is that I'm not saying Gordon's perfect, but like for her to be talking about, him in that type of way, she was a-okay with faking it and opening it and doing everything, having kids with him and plus more with no problem. So I don't think he had a problem. And if there was a problem, guess what? There's a thing called Viagra. There's plenty of things that get you up if no problem. But I think unfortunately Miss Hobox was messing with somebody else. And when you're messing with somebody else, like we learned, obviously if my man was messing with somebody else, you think I'm gonna get hard for my man? I'll be turned off. So unfortunately, he was turned off.
well, I mean, hearing some of the things that Mia describes about their relationship, I think that might have turned Gordon on. I'm just saying, it just seemed like Gordon might have been a voyeur. He liked to watch, but I also just thought it was so interesting as they're contesting the paternity of Mia's son, Jeremiah, and Ink believes that Jeremiah is his. How convenient is that of Mia to drop that her and Gordon were never really intimate? So if y'all never really were intimate, then clearly Jeremiah is not his.
So we need to find out. And let me tell you something, Mia. I'm not mad at you being the hoe that you are, being the I'm here for it, girl. Because let me tell you something. This is gonna be a perfect way to end the season if you want. Y'all taking the test. We don't get the results until the next season or something like that. Or we start off next season of Mia being the center of attention of finding out who's the father, like we're on Maury again. So if she is she's building a storyline here. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Mia's also, if I look at the picture that we have right now, Mia's in the center of the picture, which is already telling us that it's already about her. Just like tonight's episode, Mia had her cousin, her auntie, her friend of this, the friend of that, this one, the neighbor, the person that walks the door, the maid. She got everybody coming onto this show.
And
Mia
her
is feeding.
sidekick.
Yeah, and her sidekicks, the battle of the sidekicks. So Mia coming on to the show, plus I feel like Mia and Karen are providing more people to come into the show. Where Ashley, that's it. Gizelle, she's trying, but those are the only two that are bringing people into the show as connection wise. So I just feel like now it's turning into Real Housewives of Potomac of Mia.
Well, I mean, that's a good thing for me. And if we seen anything like New Jersey, right, bringing someone on that you have a pre-existing relationship with is great for the show. You better ask
It's
Melissa
great.
Judice and
Teresa.
Teresa
Well,
Judice and
Melissa,
Melissa Gorga.
unfortunately, we know Melissa.
Well, Melissa, no, we know Teresa is the queen of New Jersey.
We know that, but Melissa unfortunately forced her way into it.
Well, I mean, well, she was in them DMs, okay?
Yeah,
Hey, I'm Melissa's sister-in-law. I can build a show. But we go
fucking
to Lake
cornball she
Norman
is.
this episode, and the girls are flying in. Stacy is not flying in because she had a death in the family due to an aviation crash, and so to the month of May she does not fly as homage to her uncle. And while the ladies are sitting around, I guess the topic of Stacy comes up, and they all take a consensus that Stacy is a little boring. uh As we are arriving to Lake Norman, we separate into different cars. There's Jazzy, Ashley, and Kiarna. There is Jacqueline, Wendy, Gizelle, and then there is Karen and Mia. Now, Mia is acting like she's supporting Karen. She is saying like, "How are you like, how are you doing with all of this stuff?" And if it's one thing we know about the Grand Dame, first of all, she's in the middle of a legal investigation, a legal court case. She's not saying nothing. But the way that Mia is being super shady in these confessionals, like the first step to realizing that you have a problem is to admitting that you have a problem and all of this back and forth. And I think it really is setting up the scene for the rest of the season that I think the really big overarching issues we're going to have is between Mia and Karen.
I want to say this. Mia is definitely being messy, 100%. I will, when it comes to these reality TV shows, when we start talking about court cases, courts know that there's billions and billions of people watching these shows. So when you're talking about it, they want to make an example out of you. So Karen does not need to be talking about this DUI, because all it's going to do is, as a judge, oh, I got to sentence her because people are going to think they can get away with a DUI. That's what I'm saying. It's not something I would be particularly wanting to talk about on the show. I understand we're making a real life show here, but I can't get mad at the fact that we're not really talking about it. Just like,
Well,
because think about Teresa. Look, Teresa talked about it, and look what the fuck happened.
well, I mean, Teresa also was guilty of, fraud and different things. Jen Shah. The
Jen
thing where I
Shaw,
think,
same thing. This what
well, the
happens when you
thing,
talk about it. These girls end up going down.
well, I mean, it's on the internet, right? And so a lot of the girls, I think their take on it is last season with Robin. Y'all wanted Robin to spill her guts about Juan and the coach and
That's
different stuff.
different. Fuck all that.
But
No. This is legal.
I
There's
understand that.
law. Go
I
ahead.
get that, but I think that y'all held Robin to the standard of sharing your life. And so I don't think the girls want Karen to get into the minutia of what's going on, but I think the girls are like, this is a part of your storyline. We're clearly going to talk about it while we are filming. Headlines are going on and on and on and on and on. And so I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying I feel like Karen set that standard with Robin last season, and for sure the girls are holding her to it.
I think
But
it's a
we'll see.
difference, though. That's just my thought. I think when
It
it comes to
is.
something legal, that's a little different, because it's like, I don't know. And last thing I want to do is, let's say we're doing all these functions. I want to film, get paid because this is my job. But now we're doing all these functions where there's alcohol involved, and we're joking about it, and we're, what's it called, the
Non-alcoholic grand dame.
Ramadan, like we're joking about it, and then last thing I need is a lawyer or a judge or people on the jury watching it, and it's like, well, Karen, it don't really look like you took it as serious as we thought. Like, I'm just giving an example because I'm just thinking about, there hasn't been a lot of housewives that have got in trouble with the law and got away with it. It feels more of, when they get in trouble with the law, they use them as an example because
Absolutely.
they know people are watching. So I understand we still have to talk about it because it is a part of the real world, the real life story that we're talking about. But she says she's okay with talking about it. It's just we keep beating into it and going more and more and more. And it's like, this is different than Juan getting his dick sucked by the whole basketball team. There's a little bit different than that, than we're talking about someone, getting a DUI. There's completely different.
Very true.
Because a housewife, we're talking about housewives. Housewives, we want to talk when they're supposed to be housewives. They're married. If there's cheating involved, that is what we want to hear. And Robin had cheating in her marriage.
I mean, if you multiple DUIs and you drive under the influence, this is something you better look at. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills with that girl Shannon. Like, they want to talk about this. However, I will agree with you, right? Karen is keeping it under the wraps because she is literally going through this legal process right now. And just last week, we learned that Karen's defense team, and this is in real time, October, her defense team, they're trying to get evidence thrown out because they're saying they didn't read Karen her Miranda rights. They illegally searched her car. So, like, Karen, the Grand Dame for sure is fighting this case. And it's a criminal case at this point. So I get it. When we get to Lake Norman, though, the bedroom situation is very, 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 very interesting. Um, they put my girl Kiarna and Stacy in the bunk beds in the basement. Now, we all know what these housewives, and I'm not even mad at Mia for that, right? Because on these trips, it's all about the bedroom, it's all about the access. And if you are a friend of the show,
Mhm.
because Stacey and Kiana are the newest housewives, you got to earn your keep a little bit. It is a little
I get that.
hazing.
Of
Uh,
course.
Kiana was not happy about it. Okay, Kiana was like, "Well,"
Yeah,
now
she was not.
Stacy came in like, "Oh, joy, I always wanted to be." Now, I just feel like, girl, that is fake AF, right?
Listen, I'm not mad at it because you know what? Let me tell you something. She's also going through a month where she lost somebody. So it's like, what am I just drove all the way down here, like I or train or however. But it's like, what am I arguing about the bump beds for? And guess what? Let me tell you something. It was refreshing to see someone actually switch it up and be like, oh, I'm fine with it. Not a problem. And I think the girls had a problem with that because they were, I think Mia want to get a reaction out of
Oh,
these.
1,000%.
And I think it's just, she could have definitely got out of Kiana if Kiana was going to end up being by herself for sure. But I think Stacey was like, oh, girl, please. I'm fine with it. And I kind of like that she's giving this polish, like, I don't let these little things bother me. And that's also because, think about it, she was up here with us. She was living up here with us for a little bit. So I think her mindset's a little different before she go down there. And she's a QVC girl. I mean, you got to always.
I mean, yeah. Okay. I agree. I just feel like I just don't want that QVC girl. How much is that?
$3,000.
Okay. I don't always want the QVC girl.
I don't think
But
we're always going to get the QVC girl. I
well,
think
I'm waiting. We have 4 episodes in.
it's going to
I
be
like the
Ashley's
meat.
ass. She's going to get in Ashley's ass. I know it because I don't blame her. I will get in Ashley's ass too.
Uh, and so I guess it's also interesting where they're going out on this boat ride, and Karen is talking to Stacy, and Karen is being a little messy, and Karen is letting Stacy know that the girls are saying you boring. Okay, they saying you low snooze fest. Karen
Still.
being messy, stiff. What also was very interesting this episode as well is this sidekick
Oh my God. I've never
conversation
seen somebody fight
while
with these sidekicks.
the girls were on the airplane. Giselle and Wendy overheard. I hope the girl name is Jizzy. I think it's
I think
Jizzy
it's
Jazzy.
Jackie.
No, it's not Jackie. This is not Married to Medicine. I think it might be Jazzy. We'll go with Jazzy. Please
Okay.
let us know in the comments where Jazzy was saying something about a sidekick. They said it to Jacqueline. Jacqueline was like, you see this body? You see this face? I am nobody's sidekick. Then they was like, you want to sleep in the same room as Mia? Yes, I love to sleep in the same room with Mia. I do feel like Jazzy is coming a little hard for Jacqueline. If Jacqueline wants to be the sidekick, but she don't want to be the sidekick, she want to stand on her own. But then if Mia acquires a new sidekick, then Jacqueline is like, well, no, she don't. I'm the sidekick, but I stand on my own.
Here's my thoughts. Jacqueline, to me, I appreciate her being a ride or die, right? But she's not really a ride or die because she turned on Mia when she had the first opportunity to. Jacqueline, am I wrong about that?
I mean, I feel like Mia was. I feel like her and Mia did have a disagreement, but Mia
Of
was
course.
completely out of line and disrespectful
No,
to Jacqueline.
but I'm just saying, once again, Jacqueline, listen, I always respect every housewife that's their hustle. The goal is to get yourself to be able to get a peach or orange or whatever, become the main character. So Jacqueline is happy that she got a call back to come back. Okay. She's happy that Mia even opened that door for her. So yeah, she is going to be a great sidekick. She does want to fight for her spot. But I will say this, Jacqueline is a fucking goofball. I have never in my life heard somebody fighting to be someone's sidekick. Let me tell you something. I love you, Bryce. Bitch, I consider you one of my number ones. But if you gonna put anybody else before me, I'm gonna be like, all right, bitch, I see you. And that's it. That's it. She's over here. Anytime someone talk, Or I've known, just like tonight, I have known Mia since she came out the womb of her mom's pussy, and that she is like she was born and slapped across the ass, and then they decided to put her. I know her since she was sucking on her mother's tits at breast milk. At that point, we played in kindergarten together, we went to prom together, we fucked the same man when we were young, and also when we got older, and we also live right down the street from each other. You know, we're just like obsessed.
Yeah, that part, that is, I'm with you because I like Jacqueline a little bit, but I don't like that side of her. And I also don't
Me
like the side
either.
of her with the Karen thing. You know,
Oh,
last week she said at the Karen Attitude party that Karen called her the night before drunk. It got back to Karen. And let me just tell you this, Jacqueline. I understand you want to earn your spot. You might be better off going toe to toe with Mia because the Grand Dame ain't what you want. Okay, Jacqueline and the Grand Dame started going back and forth. Jacqueline started crying. The Grand Dame was like, "I don't care if she crying." Okay,
she can cry till the cows come home. She don't care. Let me tell you something. That's what I'm saying, baby. You're not ready for this. If you crying, that wasn't even Karen at her heart is. That's like Karen just being like a little gnat. She was just like this, little dad. And you ever, I'm such a good person. Let me tell you something. If you were a good person, you knew what you were doing at her birthday.
right.
You literally said, yeah, and she called me when she was drunk.
Yeah, that was corny. And I like how, first of all, I love how Karen navigates these situations because if you listen to the argument, Karen never really denied the fact that she might have been on the phone drunk with her. What Karen was saying was, "You're not my friend,
You're not
Jacqueline.
my
Like,
friend.
you're not my friend." And I love that because I think that kind of threw Jacqueline off a little bit because Jacqueline is like, you're arguing the fact of whether she was drunk on the phone. First of all, it's plenty of the nights I'm on the phone with Derek.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And it's like, yeah, like Karen said, she wants to find out on this trip or this season who is ride or die for Karen. And Jacqueline, that was kind of corny of you because you're crying to me like, I just said that she was struggling with the phone. She took it the wrong way. Well, girl, what other way? Or like,
But the way
first of
that
all,
she said it to me, it was bullshit. Like she didn't
right.
say those exact words. Jacqueline came in, tits up, walked in, ready to go, and as she was saying, yeah. And when I talked to her, she was drunk on the phone. I couldn't believe how drunk she was. Everybody's like, "Whoa!" Then you come
Right.
over here, and it's like, "Well, I didn't know. I thought." No, bitch, you went in there like I know she's drunk. And here's the thing, I'm gonna give it to you because we're here to make a storyline. We're here to make a show. So Jacqueline, you were doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing: a goofball sidekick, giving us stuff to feed off of. Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna be honest, Jacqueline's just. I'm happy she's there because she's providing the girls that I like to eat her up for entertainment. So I don't care because I'm never gonna like you. Never gonna like you. I like you one time when you actually went against me and got her together a little bit. That's it.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't really care because Jack. All I know you for is riding Gordon's dick with
Ah!
Mia and
Ah!
sharing it at the same time.
And listen, well, Ink tried to talk to her too, but we ain't gonna we ain't gonna get to that. Now
Jesus
it's interesting
Christ.
also that we had a boat ride. I loved on the boat ride. There was Jazzy, Kiarna, and Stacy. They were talking. They asked Stacy who she was the closest or who she wasn't feeling the most. She brings up Ashley. First of all, the boat is this big, right? And so the camera keeps turning to Ashley like me and Derek looking at each other like we know Ashley can hear her.
Right.
And so then she talks about how Ashley said, "Oh, she made it seem like she's jumping into a new relationship." Ashley said, "Okay, it's time for me to clock in." Stacy, I wish you would stop saying that because that ain't what I said. And I agree with Ashley. The way Stacy was telling the story, she made it seem like Ashley was gossiping. Like, and again, we've talked about this already, but it was like, I was very happy for Ashley to stand up and be like, okay, girl, like, if I'm the person that you're supposed to be coming for, like, stop it. And then another thing about Ashley and Stacy, and I feel like Ashley clocked Stacy's tea because Stacy was like, I just feel like you're messy. Ashley, like, girl, I met you twice. So where are you getting this from? Is essentially what Ashley was alluding to. Like, so clearly somebody's in your ear telling you that I'm messy, Karen. But I was loving how she clocked that T on Stacey though. Like, girl, if you're not gonna like me because of what other people are saying, say that, but don't be telling no random story like I'm out here exposing your relationship. Girl, you're filming with TJ.
Yeah, and I get that. And Bryce, if you want, Michael's dick, just say you
Ah!
want it. The way you advocating for Ashley, because you need to
Well,
cut that out.
word on the block is in season 4 when they called Michael on the gay dating app. I thought you were the one that was communicating with Michael.
Girl, you probably beat me to it, so don't even. Okay.
I'm not
I
on
do
any
want to say
dating.
this. Now that I am here, I was here last time, and things have changed. I do want to give Gizelle her flowers. And I do want to say,
Okay, hold on, wait. Is he being shady or is he being okay? And you
I
see
do
that
want to say
signature?
you're gonna mess up the moment. I'm gonna tell you.
Okay, all right. So okay, go ahead. Because that says Robin, but go ahead, go ahead.
I do want to say this. I'm very happy that Gizelle is here by herself. I'm glad she doesn't have that dog piece of shit anymore that was lingering behind her. And I do get a chance to actually see Gizelle more of being able to make sense. I think with Robin being here contradicted everything that Gizelle was. So, like, for example, I was able to understand how Gizelle felt, even though I love Karen. I was able to understand how Gizelle felt when Karen decided to send those messages to the girls to invite them to the party. Now, if her piece of shit Robin was still here, she would have contradicted herself and then something would have happened. And I'm glad that now she's here to be able to show who she is. And I agree with her. So I'm excited to actually maybe sit here and like see who Gizelle is and get to know her more. And I think I'm very glad they got rid of that troll. Very happy with that. That's never going to change. Hopefully Ashley's next, to be honest. But Gizelle definitely can stay. I do like her. I do like her storyline. And I'm glad that her and Karen are working on a relationship. But I love that she did hold Karen accountable tonight about, hey, what you did. Like, I'm doing stuff for you. It's supposed to be a two-way street. So it's like, I can't even lie. If the bag does end up fumbling in this friendship, and I probably would sit there and say it's Karen's fault, which sucks because I would love to see them work it out.
So would I. But I also love the up and down of Gizelle and Karen's friendship. I think that
Yeah,
it's the foundation of the show. And so I do agree with you. I was a little
as long as it
nervous.
stays friendly. Like, I don't want it to get
Right.
dark because
Too
it got
deep.
dark at
Right.
some point because of that troll from the underneath the bridge. So other than that, yeah.
Well, I can say this as well in that same note, right? I always love to hate Candace. Like, I think Candace was great for the show. I think when Wendy came on to the show, I really enjoyed Wendy as the seasons progressed. Didn't really love Wendy as much. And then I think when Candace and Wendy
I
became a
had to get,
duo,
yeah, don't.
I didn't love it. However, now with Wendy by herself, I can appreciate Wendy a lot more, and I am liking what Wendy is giving this season. Like, I really think Wendy has clocked in, Gizelle has clocked in this season, and I'm excited to see like where this is going to go. Now, before the episode ended, Gizelle had to get back to Potomac because Grace and Adorn were having their cap and gown ceremony, and Mia brought all these other girls in, okay? 13 other
I
girls.
already told you who was there. I told you the cousin, the sister, the sister's friend, the girl who actually babysit the kids, also the gardener, the maid, the girl from the grocery store, the cashier, the girl who does her nails. Who else was there? I think the person that also
The
does her
auntie.
dry cleans, the auntie, the grandmom, the cousin of the cousin, and then also her co-worker was there, and then her boss was there too. So they were all friends of her. They were all there. I told you, Real Housewives of Potomac, Mia.
Okay. All them people that Derek said was there. And so Mia introduces them to the ladies. Karen says, "Oh, I remember one of these girls. Like, we all went out together. We had a good time." Mia asks the girls to go around the table and tell them a funny story about Mia. And Mia drops the bomb that the last time that Karen and one of the other friends that were there went out with Karen and Mia, Karen butt dialed them. First of all, you could see we can't see Karen's face. We just see Karen looking at Mia, but when Mia says this, you could see Karen's eyes go, "What did I say?" Like, and Mia reveals that she was with someone else and that they could hear Karen saying that the girls think I left them and I'm with Ray, but I'm not with Ray. Well,
I also, here's another thing. I feel like they're trying to push Karen when she's at her her lowest right now. And I don't understand why that. I guess because this girl Joy showed up.
Jazzy.
Yeah, like, oh, we're just like, girl, just bringing everybody at this point, bringing the whole fucking Potomac. Because, like, it's like anybody that shows up, you're like, hey, remember this time? Like, it just feels like this was calculated
Mm,
to have this conversation because, like, I don't really like, why are we doing this now? Also,
right.
it's like really weird. But I will say this, it really does suck because I don't know why we keep pushing Karen, especially when she's like, I'm dealing with this like DUI thing, and now you guys are now bringing up my marriage again. Like, oh, you told me I was with somebody. They think I'm with somebody else and like another guy. I mean, also, let's say this. You know, we don't know everybody's story, but we're in 2024 now. Almost half of these marriages, especially people that are older, are like swingers and shit at this point. Like everybody's just sucking and fucking everything. So
Oh.
it's like I just we don't know their story. Like, you know, we don't know. Ray might got a chick bent over,
Oh.
wide open, ready to go, and then
Not the Ray we met in Philadelphia.
I'm just saying we never know. That's what I'm saying. We never know what everybody's relationship is. But Karen, like I said, I just hate that we're doing this. But Mia once again wants to get back at Karen because Mia can never silence Karen. Karen has so much shit on her. Karen has read her for Phil. So Mia is also once again, she wants to be the grand dame. She wants to be the main girl. And she's not the main girl. We know who the main girls are. We know it's Gizelle. We know it's Karen. Like we know those two are the
Well,
main people.
maybe the seating at last year's reunion kind of got to Mia. But Mia does have this vendetta with Karen regarding just the situation with Gordon and some other things that I think we will find out. But like Karen said this episode, there are 7 natural wonders of the world, but we can add the 8th because the Grand Dame is the 8th wonder, and you ain't never gonna see her slipping, okay? You ain't never going to see Karen slipping. And so I just can't thank you enough, Derek, for coming
Thank you
on,
so
taking the
much.
time. Our girl Jatia is out in Paris, and so she was not available, and we had to get
Ooh, we baguettes.
okay, merci beaucoup. Uh,
Oh,
so thank you so much,
thank you
Derek,
for
for
having
coming
me here.
on the podcast. I've loved all of your BB26 coverage over there on the
Thank you.
Royal Crown Network.
Thank you
The
so much.
exit interviews were my favorite. I loved Cedric's interview. What else do you have going over there on the Royal Crown?
Nothing out. You know, right now we're doing Survivor, so I appreciate you
Okay.
letting us recap Survivor. We do appreciate that because I know it's your family. And we're gonna be doing something new. We're gonna be covering baddies. So we're gonna do our first reality show. We're gonna do baddies because that is our favorite Ratchet show. And you never know, maybe I'll have one of your favorites guys come over and be a host with us for
Oh.
baddies because he's also a little ratchet, but he don't want people to know. So that's the only thing we got. And then of course, we have our I wish they were doing BB Reindeer games, but I haven't heard shit about it, so they're probably not doing it. But yeah, that's all we got for right now. So thank you for having me, and I appreciate you helping me with my Halloween costume and
Yes.
everything and watching this show with me. I don't know. These girls, I'm here for it. I did have to binge it, but just I gotta get to know them more. So many of
Okay.
them. There's so many new ones, which is fine. And plus Mia and the whole 12 apostles that she keep bringing in every fucking episode. I'm just like,
I'm
girl,
dead.
bring in everybody at this point. Like, who bring in your gynecologists at this point, the dentist, the doctor, bring in everybody because you're just bringing in everybody on this show.
Well, listen, it's Mia's world. Well, that has been your Purple Pants podcast coverage of Real Housewives of Potomac, season 9, episode 3 and 4. We'll be back, Jatia and I, in 2 weeks, and we'll be covering episode 5 and 6. We can't wait to see you there. Thanks again for watching and listening. Bye.
Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment as always.
Boom.
the Purple Pants Podcast. You better listen in public, might make your stomach hurt. Ooh. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to unwind, you better get that box wine. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to get your snack, you better hurry right back though. It's the Purple Pants. It's the